Howdy folks, it's Meandering Mike, and we are back to looking at miniatures, upcoming painting challenge in September. So I am trying to decide which miniatures I should do for that painting challenge. I did a video last week where I narrowed down, gonna build some Takobaki cannons and void swarm and hives. My decision was based on the ease of buildability. Like, these little guys are all totally assembled. These hives only have 3 pieces. Now, the Takobaki cannon, there was like about 6 or more pieces for the cannon, but for the 3 guys, the 2 crewmen and the cannons, for those pieces together, it was about 10 pieces, and that's acceptable for a cool unit like that. So there's some other ones I decided not to go for, so I set those aside. And something like, nah, I don't want to do that much building ahead of time. I've got a month to build and prime these things. Now, something that I've forgotten from the last challenge, which was March or April, can't remember. I had not done, these were kind of like my stretch goal, these bone eaters, and I had got them built and primed. Let me tilt down here for you. So there's 6 of these guys that are already built. So I'm going to include those, sort of, since I already have them ready to go. They're kind of cool. They're kind of blind dudes with like acidic drip and stuff. And so like they also detect noise. That's like their special thing, that their cute senses. So here's some of the stuff from that I already opened up. So besides the Takobaki cannon and the void hive and swarms, we have the bone eaters, and now we're going to look at 2 additional things: the Akaname tongue demon. Wild tongue here. And this is a deluxe expansion set for Shadows of Brimstone, the Forbidden Fortress line. And the reason I picked this particular one is I was able to discover that this guy right here, that's a Takobaki spearman. All right. So this is the package that includes Takobaki spearman, the Temple of Shadows. So let's start with this one. So let's get the shrink off. And the shrink is now off. So this is one of the not as sturdy boxes. I'm going to zoom back here a little more. Looks like there's 6 of these dudes, yes. Akaname tongue demons. 6 30mm bases. All right, there's our card. Initiative 5422. So not real good high combat ratings there, but they got some specials: leaping, filth liquor, and from the shadows. So that's kind of cool. There's the brutal version. It's a substantial improvement from when they started at 2s, going up to 3. That's decent here. All right. And it's always interesting seeing their painting suggestions, and I often don't necessarily follow those. I've got a certain aesthetic and idea of how I want to use certain things and that. So sometimes I'll do some in their paint scheme and some in a different paint scheme, and that's always nice when there's 6 of them. So I might do like 2, 2, and 2 of 3 different paint schemes, or 3 of one kind and 3 of another. All right, so what are there? Yes, cards. I'm not going to go through the cards. Typical, okay, they're calling this an otherworld threat. Die 3 plus 1. All right. So, get through this stuff. Let's put this up here so you can be seeing that in the back there. All right, so they are looking to be 3 pieces each, including their base. They've got a special base. They do not have they do have separate bases. Do you really need that separate round base if they've got their own floor base? So there's 2 halves for each guy that gets assembled, and his feet go, see there. So that's not too bad. I mean, it'd be better if it was all one solid piece. I would love that, but they're not. But I can see doing this. It looks like a very easy build. You put the 2 halves together. The fact that they have the guide holes and the pegs and all that stuff. Nice long snaky tongue. Wow, ooh, disgusting. And then, I'd have to see if they stand readily enough on this kind of base. I like to use sort of these more naturalistic things. But if it's too teetery, and maybe with this big tongue hanging out, maybe they might be off balance a bit. In which case, I'll go ahead and use the round bases. So this looks decent. Something that I will probably use. But not guaranteed at this point. But yeah, it's in the running. It's definitely in the running. All right, so I'm going to put that away and get this out of the shrink. The shrink is now off. So let's dig into this guy here. Now this is a pretty big box. It's their typical, I'm going to shift this around here. It's their typical size for a quote-unquote deluxe expansion, not a core set. The core sets are like maybe a third bigger than that on the side. Okay, it's interesting here that they've got kind of an insert here. I'm not sure if there's stuff. I've never opened one of these deluxe expansions. Wow, there's a lot of stuff in here. I'm going to pull these out. Oh yeah, there's definitely more stuff in here, which, all right. So we've got cards. I'm not going to go through, I'm going to focus on the miniatures, but let's just quickly show what's in here. More, elemental magic, interesting. All right. Wow, nice adventure book, big, heavy one. All these threat cards here. All right, now, a lot of these names I've seen the first time, so I'm not sure how to pronounce them. Chochinobaki Lanterns. Fallen Shogun. Skin Crawlers, all right. There they are. Takobaki Spearman. A soldier, so this was a hero character. And a Kitsune, a fox. Interesting. A stealth traveler, otherworld myth. Interesting, very interesting. So, this has, what was it? 4 different enemies. Takobaki Spearman, Skin Crawlers, Fallen Shogun, and Chochinobaki Lanterns. All right. Oh, wait, no. There's more. There are more. There are more hero types. So, a geisha and an enforcer. Ooh, look at those tats. He's got some nice tats. All right. High pain threshold. All right. And then there's... Oh, boy. Wow, it's a lot of punch boards, as they call them in the more tabletop gaming world, versus calling them counter sheets in the hex and counter world. So I'm not going to look at those, but it looks like there's some big floor tiles, various counters representing the heroes, statuses, bleeding, void venom, things like that. So, okay, I'm going to set that stuff aside so that we can now look at the minis. Up. Zzz, zzz, zzz. Okay, so they interestingly have a little assembly guides on the side. So right here I can see Takobaki Spearman. So assuming this body is whole, you got a head, a spear, you put it on the base. So that's not too bad if for, this complex of a dude with the long spear, I'm getting used to the fact that a lot of these guys, they want you to put the head on separately. But, which I get when you have like different heads, different shields, different weapons, I get that modularity, but honestly, can't you just mold that in one? I'm assuming it's cheaper to do it this way, but I'll tell you, I would buy more. This is a little Meandering Mike editorial about miniature manufacturers. I would buy more if they were one piece, right? Maybe cheaper for you to make them this way, but if you didn't, I would buy more of your stuff. Something to think about, miniature manufacturing people. All right, so this, not sure what we're seeing here. Let me tilt down, zoom in. Oh, these are those lantern things, those Chochinobaki lanterns. So there they are. They somehow float in the air. Looks like they have a handle to hang on something, but they're kind of in this case, they're they're resting on their tongue. But the assumption is that they float in the air, and these guys happen to just be close enough that their tongue's dragging. So there's a very nice creative way to put these together. And the fact that these are all one piece, I just get to clip them out. All right. Wow, I got 12 of these. Okay, so these guys are in. These guys are making the cut. This is the kind of stuff that I love to see. All right, let me do this one. Okay, this looks like the big samurai dude. Just one of them, and he's big. He's extra tall. Big base. Now, let me see, does it? I put those things away. Sorry about that. Grab the box, the back of the box, and see what it says here. Fallen Shogun 60mm base. Wow. All right. That's a big dude. I'm sort of like, I'm looking here right now, and I'm knowing that, this might be badass dude, but I'm not going to build him for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pieces. Now, that's not bad for a dude this size, sort of. If it was 5 or 6, I'd be much more appreciative. But so I probably will not build him for this painting challenge. A little too much assembly work for one figure, albeit he's a big 60mm base badass, excuse my French, or is that, excuse my Japanese. Fallen Samurai. All right. So what do we got? All sorts of stuff here. All right. These are those, what they're called, skin crawlers, I think, here. All right. All right. Look at those. Look at those. So they've got, what is that, 3 of them? Yeah. So you put them together and you have some little, is that some little side tentacle, oozy something thing you wear? That comes out here. I don't know if you can see that. There's a thing there. Where is that? You gotta cut this carefully, because if you are supposed to, that's a square bit. this is obviously fitting to here. I'm not sure. I have to look at that carefully. And so something's hanging and oozing out of there. But am I putting this side or this side here? I don't know. It's this. I don't know if you can see that right here. That side. So this is going to go against the flush of the base at the bottom. And then that'll stick on here. So it'll come up from out here and connect to the ground as sort of a separate piece. So, you know, you can look like this has this oozing tendrils of gooey whatever coming down off of it all the way down here. They'll be flush on the base. But then on this side here, you'll have this piece coming out there. So 3 pieces to glue plus the base. This, and for a nice ooey gooey skin crawler thing, I think it's called. Yeah, these are almost certainly in. Those are pretty cool and badass. All right, so these look like Takobaki spearmen, I would think. Lots of goodies in this set. This is the Temple of Shadows Deluxe Expansion. This is part of the Shadows of Brimstone line. Let me zoom out. You know, overall, Shadows of Brimstone Forbidden Fortress is that feudal Japan setting. Let's see, that was the samurai. All right, so here they are, the Takobaki spearmen. Yeah, so it's a body that's full with the face of the tentacles with their conical hats. And there's even like a little indentation on the back. So fitting this on here, that's going to be an easier time gluing that. And then the spears are such that the tentacle arms are pre-connected to the spear. I don't know if you can see it, but right here, there's an indentation. This one's just a flat surface, but this one has a little indentation here. So I'm going to put my finger in front of that. You can see that right there. So that'll help the gluing with the 2 points on that. So yeah, that's not too bad for a Takobaki spearman. That was definitely then the rifleman and the Takobaki samurai. Those were a little bit more complicated. And so the fact that that Takobaki cannon had encounters with the spearmen in it, I can build these to have them available for that. So this is, yeah, pretty much a certain good to go on these guys here to go along with the Takobaki cannons. So, and what we have, the final bit here is the heroes. This is all here. There's 4 different heroes. I'm gonna tilt down here a little bit. Let's see how complicated they're. I'm less prioritizing building heroes right now. I sort of want to build the monster stuff because I still don't know if I'm gonna use these first for like a Dungeons and Dragons or some other role-playing game first, than actually playing Shadows of Brimstone. And so, you know. All right, now, so looking at all this, that looks a little complicated, but let's figure out how many pieces are average per dude. So the bodies are mostly complete. There are some look like, or is that, that's just a bedroll and a sword. So this is probably on this guy's back. She doesn't have arms, so she has a space here. So you got to look carefully. There are numbers or letters on one side of these. So you gotta realize what goes with which. So pay attention and just don't cut these all out first. I would recommend doing them one figure at a time, just cutting out one figure, getting it assembled. All right, so it's a parasol. She must be carrying a parasol, but I'm not sure where all the right pieces of who's it's and what's it goes where. All right, this guy's head is somewhere else. That's the fox dude. Here it is. There's his head. The fox. Is that a fox haunch? A tail? What is it? Or is this? What is that? I think that's the fox tail. All right. So yeah, I'll have to look at these. So I'm gonna probably say probably not for this painting challenge, just because I'm not prioritizing the hero characters at this time. So probably leave them out for now. So this has been a Meandering Mike unboxing of miniatures in the Forbidden Fortress line of Shadows of Brimstone. So these Akaname demons look pretty cool. We've brought in the Bone Eaters, which these guys that are already built from before. We're going to do those Takobaki Spearmen. We'll do these skin collar dudes. Yeah, that's not too bad. Three pieces per big old oozy gooey skin crawler dude. We got spearmen, and we do have 2 cannon sets, but you said there's an encounter for 2 cannons. So there's a counter for like a cannon up to I don't think there's more than 3 spearmen in that thing. So technically I could just do 3 of them if I want to have enough, but it would make sense to try to get them all done if I'm going to do them. Gonna leave out that big was it Forgotten Samurai, Fallen Samurai dude? And we're never including the Chochin Nobaki lanterns, these guys, because there's no building. You just clip them out of here, and they're good to go. So we have successfully, I think, unboxed enough. Now, I don't know if some of you have noticed, there's some things lingering back here. I was thinking if I didn't have enough stuff, I could do some terrain, and I received in the mail finally. I'd ordered from Mantic. They had a sale like way back in June, and I ordered a bunch of this science fiction terrain: Death World, Otherworld Forest, Alien Woods, and the Xenos Jungle, and one other little thing, I think. And they got lost coming from England, and it was I pinged them. Beginning of August or very end of July, I'm like, oh, wow, FedEx seems to have lost your order here. Let us ship it to you again. And they shipped it UPS instead, which is kind of weird. UPS from England to the US. But it came quickly, and I got them, and all is good in the end. But yeah, it was like, whoa, what's going on? Taking forever. So I may look at some of these later and maybe have some of these as a stretch goal. Again, while these are like part of their science fiction selection, these looked so cool. I saw some of these on Charles Latour's channel. Again, I've recommended before, if you want to see a nice mix of war games and miniature gaming stuff, check out his channel. But these could be used in many, many different settings, these cool, fantastical stuff. So we may add some of these at some point. But this has been our multi-unboxing of Shadows of Brimstone, and I think we have success. So I'll have to be going off and, like these guys are already primed, but I'll have to do all that stuff and And then we'll start the challenge on September 1st, and we'll maybe do a weekly update showing the progress that we've made in September while we're doing that. So thank you for watching. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and like and comment and all that good stuff. And as I say, take care of your minis, and they will take care of you. Ciao, y'all.